Carrie has always been loved New York, and we all took dance lessons, but when she was like around 12 or 13, she and her best friend, who were both really serious about dancing, they went to take dancing from their dance teacher's teacher in the city. And they started going into the city on weekends. I think they were like 13. And now when I talk to her, I'm just like, I don't know how you live in the city. I don't know how you do it. And she's just like, there's nowhere else I could live. It's the only place. And so I just thought it's like she was born a New Yorker. So that's kind of how I look at it.
My name is Carey Bertini. I work at The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and I live in Brooklyn. So I started coming to the city when I was about 13 to dance, and I got hooked. So I went to Fordham University. I didn't major in dance, but my plan was to try to dance on Broadway or anywhere in musical theater. To me, it was super exciting to be dancing in New York, even if it was in class. So for a long time, I was dancing and auditioning, and I liked going to auditions and competing in that arena. And I don't think I was a horrible dancer, but you did need to sing also if you wanted to do musical theater. So I worked on my singing. I wasn't a good singer, but I had auditioned for a tour in Europe of 42nd Street for many times, and they finally hired me and not the girl standing next to me. And for me, that was, it still is, like, it thrills me to think about. I was tap dancing in Switzerland, getting paid to do it in this glamorous, 1930s show. And so it was heaven. I didn't transition. I was unaware when I first started in wardrobe that I was staying. While I was still in college, there was a woman who used to make me dance costumes when I was a little girl. And she happened to be the supervisor at Cats, the musical. And she hired me to fill in backstage at Cats in wardrobe. Yeah, that's how it all started. So I was growing up backstage. Cats closed, and I thought, all right, I'm not taking another wardrobe job. I'm just going to audition and teach tap. And I did for a little while. And then I started waitressing, and the year was going on, and I realized I needed to do something about my health insurance. So, and then I started swinging at a show called Anna Get Your Gun that was at the Marquis Theater. And right before 9/11, my boss approached me, and she asked me if I wanted to be on the crew of Mamma Mia. And I knew that Mamma Mia was going back to the Winter Garden, where I had done Cats for several years on and off. And it's very rare to spend as much time in a single theater. I was there for a very long time, having done a lot of Cats and the entire run of Mamma Mia, which people say to me, how did you do that? How did you do the whole run of Mamma Mia? Like, people like to move around. I did consider leaving wardrobe, but and thinking, oh, I'll go to grad school. I guess by now you're getting me. I'm not very directed, but I was dressing the young lead in the show, and that just happened by magic. And somehow all of those, they were young women. They started out just a bit younger than me, and then the show ran for 14 years, so they got younger and younger, or I got older and older. But there were new people being cast every year or two, and it worked out. It kind of turned into a mentoring situation, even though I didn't plan for that. So by the time Mamma Mia was closing, we did move to the Broadhurst Theater. It was very dramatic for me to leave the Winter Garden, because the Winter Garden I loved that theater, and I'd grown up there. And not many people do that. I felt a connection. I know it sounds funny, but I did feel a connection to the theater. Then the next phase of my life came after Mamma Mia closed, and kind of a little bit of a crisis of whoa, what now? And that's how I ended up at The Tonight Show. I had a couple years of, filling in and figuring out what would happen. I just knew it would be hard for me to go back to Broadway full time after Mamma Mia. And I was tired of working weekends all weekend, because that's what you do on Broadway. I loved it when I did it, but I was definitely tired. So I left. And I didn't have a job, but I started putting my resume out there, and I had not looked for a job in, I don't know, 15 years. Someone at the Tonight Show called me and said, "Are you available this week?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And so I just subbed there for about a year. The supervisor just kept calling me, and sometimes I don't know if they even needed an extra person, but that's the way it works. We don't know how many people, or some days we shoot some skits off-site that we need lots of people for, and some days we don't. But yeah, I just started subbing, and then I got hired full-time officially a year ago, last month. Yeah, about a year ago, because the person who dressed the Roots, the band, the house band, she left. And she'd basically been training me very carefully to take over for her, because I think she knew she wanted to leave. So I stepped in. So instead of dressing young women just starting out, I have moved on to men who are rock and rollers, who are, closer to my age. It's been a fun transition. So, yeah, I never imagined it.